What up, fools? It's Tool time. Happy Wednesday to all of you individually. We are quickly approaching the midway point in the season. Not a lot has happened though. Everyone continues to be unhappy. They've got a lot of good reason to be. We won't be doing any hiring because there's nobody worth hiring. So it's going to be quite a quick blast through. My aim really is to get through this first season as quickly and efficiently as possible so we can get into the meaty stuff. Now, we continue to receive no support from any of our manufacturers. We're not investing in the factory just yet. Development on next year's car, the TY 1999A, we really need to fill this top bar. If any bar in this chain is going to be full, it has to be the top one, and we're not progressing anywhere near as quickly as I would like. By the end of round 8, we have to finish here, because we need enough time to finish the remaining 3 design stages, and we need manufacturing time because we will not be able to build 2 cars in one round, is my strong suspicion. Top priority continues to be the Mugen Honda deal. We really need that, not just because it saves us close to 7 million for 2 seasons, but because it is 2 seasons, that frees up a lot of our staff to focus on other things. We also really want to get Patronus or PlayStation on board as soon as possible before they are poached from under our nose like some valuable chickens. No hospitality because we ain't feeling all that hospitable, really. No one's working with us. So let's dive straight into the Grand Prix. I'm not going to perform any repairs in accordance with everyone's kind suggestions. Let's dive in straight away then. Sorry in advance, this is going to be a shorter episode than you would usually expect, but that's because I'm going to put out a Sauber one later, and I actually have an appointment that I have to leave for in like 15-20 minutes, and I want to set this video uploading as soon as possible. Again, we're going to try and not qualify with Rosset because, well, it doesn't really matter. 26 degrees, dry with a strong wind. That's good. We wanted it to be dry because we want to make sure he doesn't qualify by putting him on wet weather tyres. The other way round, putting him out on slicks in rain, yes, he probably wouldn't qualify, but there's also a chance he'll just twat the car into a wall, and then that wouldn't work very well for us at all. It's a McLaren 1-2 on the grid in Canada. David Coulthard leading Mika Hakkinen. Heinz-Harald Frentzen puts in a journeyman effort for Williams, taking 3rd. Eddie Irvine lines up 4th for Ferrari. 5th goes to Alexander Wurz in the Benetton, out-qualifying Michael Schumacher's Ferrari. Anyone out of position? Not really. Toru Takagi, last of the qualifiers. Ricardo Rossi obviously didn't meet the 107% rule criteria and was not given special dispensation by the FIA because they hate us. Now, it does seem to be, as far as I can tell, a Bridgestone track, but at this stage that's the least of our problems anyway. 19 degrees with light rain for the Grand Prix. That means things could dry up quite easily. I'm going to one-stop Takagi because, again, not really any reason not to. We're bringing in lap 35 with lap 34 laps remaining after his stop. Classic. Let's see how we do. 17th. 6 laps down, but he did finish the Grand Prix. That means we've got some wear to deal with. On the same lap as Esteban Tuero's Minardi, we were lapped twice apparently by the Prosts and the Minardi of Shinji Nakano. Lost from the race, less attrition this time actually. Pedro Deniz's Arrows having an engine failure, as did Rubens Barrichello's Stewart. It's a double DNF for the Arrows as Mika Salo has an electronic problem, and an accident for Heinz-Harald Frentzen undoes all his good work in qualifying. At the sharp end, it's a McLaren win for Mika Hakkinen. Michael Schumacher taking 2nd. Another strong performance for Damon Hill, who's having a hell of a season in the Jordan, taking 3rd. The reigning points-paying positions, Eddie Irvine in the Ferrari 1 lap down, as is Giancarlo Fisichella and David Coulthard. Just outside the points, tickling them ever so gently, is Alexander Wurz, and behind him a lap further down, John O'Lacey, Johnny Newhouse and Ralf Schumacher are your top 10. In the Drivers' Championship, it's now a 13-point lead for Mika Hakkinen over Michael Schumacher. David Coulthard bringing up in third, 3 points behind. 16 points for Johnny Newhouse in fourth, 15 points for his teammate Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Fisichella and Hill are tied for sixth on 13 points apiece. In the Constructors, again, McLaren extend their lead, 35 points clear now of Ferrari in 35 points. Williams are in third, 31 points, and Benetton continue their strong showing, 24 points in fourth. Jordan, fifth on 17, and Arrows continue to lead Sauber by a solitary point. Okay, let's see if we've got any bods to hire. We do not. That's good. We did make a loss at the last Grand Prix, 149,000, but again, it was a flyaway race. See what's going on in the news. Ferrari and Shell have signed a deal. Now, based on that title, I'm guessing it's a works deal, but it doesn't actually specify. McLaren are moving to works Ford power. Ferrari and McLaren both had 2 cars in the top 6. Ricardo Rossi isn't happy, but no one cares. Jörg Muller will be taking up a seat at Arrows, possibly a test seat. It doesn't actually specify at this point. McLaren look likely to win the Constructors' Championship. I would agree. Michael Schumacher will be moving to Williams. Now, is it them that signed a... No. So Michael Schumacher's moving to Williams. Prost have swooped in for Ralf Schumacher. And Esteban Tuero is going to McLaren, of all things. Brabham, they extend their contract with Arrows. FedEx have partnered with Benetton. Jordan have signed Capital GDEZ. Well, it's GDZ, I think. Minardi have signed a deal with Bossini. Lifter have signed with Prost. Brembo with Sauber. And Kickers with Stewart. Sonax continued their relationship with Williams. We continue to not test, and we remain the most derided figure on the pit wall, whereas Ron Dennis inexplicably finds himself popular. We've got quite a lot of wear on Takagi's car, but it can do another Grand Prix, so that's pretty sexy. We may just, if we're lucky, be able to finish this first development stage after round 8, which was our target, so at least we're on target for one thing. How are we in Sponsorland? We have a TV advantage to spend. That is excellent news. No progress on the Petronas deal or the PlayStation deal. I'm going to spend a TV advantage on finally securing the Mugen Honda deal, hopefully. Then we can start moving some, but not all our manpower off it and try and get these 2 cash-paying sponsors on board. Really, if we can get just one of them, that should offset with change the cost of our tyres and fuels for next year. So it is important that we try and get them on board. In terms of share price, we're still around 100,000 per share, but there's no pressing need to sell any additional shares at this time because we're being ever so frugal, like a very unattractive man. No testing, of course. We will be producing some Ersatzteile or spare parts. Just nice to have a little bit of a stash on the go. And again, we'll be trying to remove Rosset from the equation as quickly and efficiently as possible. What I'm actually going to do as well, now I'm thinking about it, is I'm already going to take 9% off that Mugen Honda deal, and I'm going to try, given we've got half a season left, to pick up a 1-star sponsor somewhere. See if we can find one that fits in. Yeah, let's try Komatsu. See if we can't find ourselves a few extra sponsors. You never know. You never know. Right then, that, by my calculations, makes us about race ready, or as race ready as we're going to be. Everything stays the same, except we are switching our spy focus over to Williams. No new tyre compounds. Kel Surprise. Yeah, we are going to be looking for driver aids on the Williams, specifically traction control. off we go. Now, the chances of us discovering it, even if they have it, is quite small because our guys are completely inept. 27 degrees with some cloud cover for qualifying. Still dry though, which is again good for making sure Rosset doesn't qualify. Have some nice rain tyres there, my good man. And again, he doesn't qualify, which is superb. Takagi outqualifies McLaren new boy Esteban Tuero in his Minardi by the best part of 2/10, splitting the Minardis. Jarno Trulli leads home Olivier Panis in front. At the sharp end of the grid, though, you may have noticed Giancarlo Fisichella taking a stonking pole position for Benetton by the tiniest of tiny margins from Mika Häkkinen's McLaren. Eddie Irvine lining up third for Ferrari. It's Williams 4-5 with Frentzen beating Newhouse again. And Ferrari takes sixth with Michael Schumacher. 29 degrees, very dry with a strong wind. That's not going to help engine power, but we don't really care. I'm going to go back to two-stopping Takagi, so he's on fresher tyres most of the Grand Prix. Let's see what we can achieve, if anything. Probably a DNF. Yeah. We have no good. However, Mika Häkkinen takes the win for McLaren, 1:35.19456, his race time. Heinz-Harald Frentzen takes second for Williams, a good performance from him, and Giancarlo Fisichella converts his pole position into a well-deserved and much-needed podium for Benetton. Eddie Irvine in fourth, David Coulthard in fifth, and the final points-paying position goes to the second Benetton of Alexander Wurz. That sees both Benettons and both McLarens in the points. Fantastic for them. Our race didn't go quite so well, obviously. The arrows of Mika Salo, Sauber's Johnny Herbert, and Jordan's Reichel, Ralf Schumacher joining us on the scrap heap. Mika Häkkinen continues to lead the Drivers' Championship, of course. 53 points to Michael Schumacher's 30. David Coulthard now just a point behind him on 29. Ahead of Heinz-Harald Frentzen on 21. Fisichella moves up to 5th, making himself clear of Johnny Newhouse. And Damon Hill continues to sit in 7th, despite not scoring at this Grand Prix. McLaren extend their lead in the Constructors over Ferrari, 82 points to 38, making the Constructors' Championship pretty much a done deal at this point. Williams are a point behind Ferrari in 3rd on 37, and Benetton are now on 29 points in 4th. That's a healthy margin to Jordan and doesn't put them out of reach necessarily of Williams, so good on them. Now then, did any of our efforts pay off? No. No, they did not. God damn it. What is everyone doing? We have 1 point now on the PlayStation deal, 1 point on the Petronas deal. This is a problem we're going to have to deal with at the end. At the end of the next episode, we're going to have to make some drastic changes here. I'm not signing a customer deal, I can tell you that. Now, we're in exactly the position that I warned that we would be by not maintaining our car, which is we have Toru Takagi's car now with race damage to the extent that it's not going to be race ready, plus 100% wear. That will take 3 sets of spare parts and I believe more manpower than we have to fix, but car 3 is there, so we can work our way through. Do we have any signings we want to make? I'm going to strengthen the commercial department because God knows they need it. I'm going to take on 2 apprentices as well. Normally I don't do that, but apprentices, if you're not already aware, they have the potential to become star workers, which means they put out the production of one of the top 2 tiers, but for the price of a bottom tier, and that only happens with apprentices. So it's always good to keep a few in your department because you never know when one might suddenly find his motivation. I'm strengthening all the departments now. I know we're spending money, but we have to invest at some point. I'm now going to go keep my appointment. I hope all of you guys are keeping well. Again, I'm sorry for the rushed episode, but we'll do Sauber properly later, and maybe even another Tyrrell episode, because I'm going to have time later on. I just wanted to make sure that I covered us for today. You guys take care, and I will see you again very, very soon. Pip, pip, cheerio, tally-ho, what?